So sad though to be like drinking at 11 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, that's pretty sad. That's pretty. I don't know. That's a relationship, a lot of twists and turns. It's got to be an interesting story though, how they broke up. Must be pretty dramatic.
Yeah, and it's clear that
Think about it.
they want to be back together, or at least she
Back
wants she wants his baby.
Mm,
Nasty.
there's a lot of issues at play.
Anyway, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Facts Not Included, the Poodcast. That's what we should call it now, the Poodcast.
Foodcast.
Antonio wouldn't approve, but I don't care.
And he's not here though.
He's not here. There we go. I'm Peter Cabranes, and I'm joined by the amazing Michael Votto. What's going on, Mike?
What's up, guys? Hey, happy Thursday.
That was the saddest. Hey.
Hey, it's up. It's 9 o'clock at night.
I'm depressed
I'm gonna
and
work tomorrow.
sad.
What's up?
Yeah, they don't need to know that. So today's episode, I mean, the Oscars is behind us. I mean, it's all happened already.
It's past history.
Yeah.
Old news.
And in the world we live in, probably this episode, most people aren't going to care for it because they only want to hear Oscar news the day after, and that's about all. That's about it. I don't know what people are talking about today on a Friday. What are people talking about?
So we got what's going on in the world. We got the Cohen stuff.
Oh my God! Yeah,
Trials.
Michael Cohen. I mean,
Well, getting too political, but I got that.
Trump
and,
sounds like he's like.
I guess that's really, I guess that's the main topic of the talk right now.
Yeah.
Talk of the town.
You know, when you bring a person in a room and you tell everybody you're not a racist because. Anyway, did you see that? Did you see that?
I didn't see. I actually didn't watch the thing. I'm gonna watch it this weekend.
I don't know the whole story behind it, but someone brought someone into a room that was black and was like, Trump knows this person. There's no way he could be a racist. It was weird. It was weird.
Yeah. I heard it was pretty juicy trial. Whatever.
There's
I'm
a
gonna watch
lot
it.
of intriguing information involved in here. But just like that, the Oscars had that as well. There was controversy since, last year with the Oscars?
I heard a lot about this Oscar. A lot of controversy.
What was the idea that they brilliantly had, which I obviously being sarcastic, regarding popular movies?
Yeah, they were gonna do the awards for popular movies during commercial breaks, so you wouldn't see them.
Right, and so the whole idea was that a movie like Avengers: Infinity War would be nominated in this category. Did you know about that one? Did you know about do you know what I'm talking about?
No, I don't actually.
Yeah, so like what you kind of mentioned was it was a different controversy. So the original one, which was like in August, was the idea of them allowing for quote popular films, meaning movies that aren't quite what people consider Oscar Best Picture worthy.
Like fun movies.
Yeah, so movies that actually make money, right?
Yeah.
Like
Summer blockbusters and the like.
right. So like a movie like Jurassic World, I guess, Avengers: Infinity War, even Black Panther and stuff like that. And so people were like, no, that's stupid. Why would you make such a category? And that's very true. Why would you? If the movie's good enough in your eyes to be on your Best Picture list, that should be it. It shouldn't be on there. And so that was the first issue. And then the other issue was the one you had just mentioned, which is the whole idea of like allowing certain awards or not, to be seen during the commercial break. And then they backpedaled and they were like, no. We'll show them during the show, but we'll cut out certain moments. And then they backpedaled again and were like, no, we're not going to do that. We apologize.
It's a little silly. I think you should do the award ceremony. You should show the entire thing when people can see it. It's a little stupid.
Yeah. I also think, like, if you're going to cut out the certain awards from the telecast, it's not the ones that you guys originally chose.
That's true. It's like the ones they really don't want to... I say people know about, but the people really care about, So maybe it's like the less popular awards. I guess if that makes sense. It's like not... In their eyes, the movie's not even as prestigious. So it's like something they really don't even really want to do, but they feel like they're obligated to do it because they keep getting this rap as, like movie snobs or whatever it may be.
Which then made them look even worse because of this. Like, it just doesn't... You're trying to make I think they were trying to fit in the modern times of, like, attention spans and stuff like that. But it backfired because the specific categories they chose to want to knock out are, like, essential to film. Like, what is it? Guillermo del Toro tweeted out. He was like, I'm paraphrasing, but he more or less said that cinematography and editing are the cornerstones of film. Without those two things, film doesn't exist.
It's true. It's like a home video.
And
There's
they're
no
the
editing.
yeah, exactly. No, but they're also and also like cinematography. There's no such thing as a movie without that because essentially acting is from theater, staged costume designing is from theater. Most of these other things are from theater, and cinematography and editing are the only two quote actual things from film. You know,
That's true.
and so even directing, directing is from the stage as well.
Oh, so it all
So
comes from the original. Yeah, theater,
yeah,
non-film, non-movie screen. Yeah, pretty much. Editing is critical.
and so you're gonna take out those two awards and show them during commercial break or whatever you were gonna do. Like that's a slap in the face to the industry itself that you are in a way in charge of. Like the Academy is like influential beyond than most people
Belief,
think.
yeah.
And the idea now that I don't know if you saw this during the telecast, they're opening a museum.
I didn't hear about that. No.
It looks amazing, sounds amazing. You'll be able to experience movies and the way they were created and the way they're made and stuff like that.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. And you're the people that are making that exact same museum, and you're gonna also do this. Like
That's terrible. Yeah, I know anything about it. They're like shitting. They're like shitting on the art of filmmaking and then trying to, I guess, glamorize it at the same time or respect it. So it's kind of like comes up as like a little ham-fisted. But I'd actually going on back to that point about the movies. I mean, are you saying like, say for like a silent film? I don't know if it's big going way too back, but like, are they gonna have like a hand crank projector booth and you sit down, you watch it with like a silent film?
I don't
If I
know.
understand correctly.
I don't think they didn't go into much detail. I forgot who they had present it. I think it was Laura Dern came out and I think presented the idea of the museum, and she more or less said that you'll be able to experience. I think she used the word experience, like filmmaking. So to
Interesting.
me that just means that there might be some like, you know, like that. Basically what you just said. Like maybe you'll be able to touch certain things or see things in ways that you normally wouldn't be able to in a movie theater, I guess.
Interesting.
It seems like a very interactive museum at the same time.
They show you the projection booth, how it works, and maybe they show you
Yeah,
the film. Huh.
I'm, but the only thing is it's in LA, so that like going out there
It's a bit difficult.
for us, yeah.
They got the Kaufman, the Museum of the Moving Image in Astoria. That's the closest we've got in terms of film museums.
Yeah, for us that's gonna be good enough for now.
Yeah, that'll have to do.
That'll have to do for a while. Yeah, I don't know. I'm really interested in that museum. I think it's opening this year too. You can check out the website academymuseum.org for anyone who's interested. But yeah, they're gonna have exhibitions on the making of the Wizard of Oz. I'm looking at that right now. The journeys inside movies. So that seems like an interactive thing. And Team Lab. I don't know what the hell that is. But Team Lab is a company that's out there.
Interesting.
Or they're transcending boundaries. I don't know what that
A
means.
4D, that kind of like VR, 3D, all that kind of next stuff.
I don't know. It says a dramatic installation, interactive installation by Team Lab to engage directly with the artwork itself. Yeah, it might be.
Could be like a VR thing. I feel like I wonder if the next big gimmick, kind of like a bad word, but the next gimmick. I'm not going too off the rails from what we're speaking about, but I guess in terms of just filmmaking technology, I guess eventually what we presented at the Oscars. Like I wonder what the newest category technically is.
Oh,
I know
what they would
animation in
invent?
recent years has kind of gotten a little more important.
I think eventually, because I think the you talk to some people, and they're kind of up in arms of in regards to is mocap considered acting?
Mocap. That's actually a big. I'd say it's a big debate. That's a good
I
debate
think
worth having.
I mean, I don't see. To me, I don't see that there's a debate. I feel like if in most cases, people that do mocap are probably more artistically sound than your regular actor. I don't know. Like I think, what's his face that played Thanos did a phenomenal job.
Josh
Brolin, right?
Yes, Brolin.
Yeah. I think he did a phenomenal job. In all honesty, I think Avengers: Infinity War should have won best visual video effects or whatever.
That movie was
category is.
gorgeous, like CGI wise.
I don't know how it didn't win. I do see how First Man won, but at the same time, like, really, You're not going to give it to Marvel for that one? Like, really? All right. Because I think Thanos looked like a real being. Like, if he walked into my room right now, I'd believe it.
Yeah. No, it's true. The lifelike CGI.
Yeah. And then his performance, it goes with like Andy Serkis. Like, there are countless
Him
performances
too.
he's
That's
given.
that's what he's known for. His mocap work. Yeah.
And so I think maybe that's the next frontier in regards to category. Or maybe they don't put it as a category and they just let those people get nominated.
That too. Or it just kind of falls under like it's like best. I guess best graphic effects, but even then, like it'd even be like best CGI movie.
Yeah,
you got a lot of those now.
Do you make it separate category just for? Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. That's interesting. Yeah, because we're getting a lot of like live action. Yeah, you're right. We're getting a lot of just CGI movies, where 99 or 90 whatever % of the film was not shot anywhere else but in a behind a blue screen.
Yeah.
Or a green screen. Like look at the Jungle Book did that. The new Lion King movie's doing that. Nothing in that movie's real at all. Like
it's all CGI.
Yeah, literally Lion King has no human being in it because it's Lion King. So all that's CGI. Not a single one of those animals are real. They might have been, digitally sculpted by based off of a real animal, of course.
Yeah, as a reference model.
Right, as reference.
It's all 3D graphics.
But it's all none of those animals moving around were never breathing creatures.
No, it's fake.
And that's the
insane. Yeah.
Exciting part of that movie.
Yeah. It's fake. It's all fake. I mean, CGI. I mean, if you look at Toy Story 1, that came out in 1995, and now the graphics. It's funny. The graphics in Kingdom Hearts 3 look better than the graphics in the first Toy Story. Like the renders, the models.
Right.
And that's how crazy. That was on in 95, that was on a render farm. And now it's being run off a PS4, a little, console that's the size of like a shoebox.
The graphics that blow my mind are the ones that you don't even know are graphics. Meaning, what's his face? When I do not know his name. The guy from the Fast and the Furious movie.
Died?
The real life, and that he died in real life.
Is it Paul Walker?
Paul Walker. There we go.
Yeah.
There we go. So at the end of one of the Fast movies he was in, they used his brother as reference, and he acted in some of the scenes, and they overlaid his actual face on his brother's face, and so that ending scene of where he drives away and Vin Diesel goes one way, he goes the other. That's all created by the computer. At least, Paul Walker's character is created by the computer. That blew me away because I didn't know that. Like, part of me thought, oh, yeah, he actually shot that. What they did is they took scenes of him doing stuff similar to that and kind of, like, chopped it together and touched it up again with the computer.
Oh, it's insane. I mean, I guess the best real example I could think of in recent years is Rogue One.
Okay.
Target.
Yeah.
That's I don't even think, actually, that's probably the best example because I can't think of anything more crazy than that. A real life human being who acted in a movie 40 years ago has been digitally recreated from head to toe and brought back to life. Like,
that's a good point. Yeah. All right. So, being that we're talking about the Oscars, we're jumping around here. That's fine. That's fine.
Back to the awards.
Back to the awards. So no host this year. Strange, right?
I mentioned that. Yeah, no host.
It's been I don't know. It's been over 30 years since there's been no host.
It was 88 or 89. I read that there was no host.
Okay, I didn't know the year. Okay. I wonder what the controversy back then was. Like, it clearly wasn't the controversy that was today, because clearly the world we live in is very dangerous in regards to what people say, and their punishment for it. But nonetheless, Kevin Hart was supposed to host, and before even Kevin Hart, there was issues of getting people, because again, the climate we live in, people are very afraid to be judged now by something they might have said 35 fucking years ago.
It's a little silly, but
it is.
It's political talk, but yeah, and it's a little kind of sad that nobody wants to do it.
Yeah,
it's like the same with the
I'll
Super
fucking
Bowl.
do it.
Not to go too off topic, the Super Bowl too is the same shit.
Yeah,
they have all these great artists that don't want to perform because they're too afraid now because of the whole kneeling and just the whole NFL, debacle.
Yeah.
And they're afraid to play. But I guess, it's kind of the same thing. But what happened why did Kevin Hart pull out?
Well, Kevin Hart pulled out, which I think the way it was handled was, again, I feel like it's Disney related type of stuff. Well, because with the whole James Gunn issue, Disney was aware of James Gunn's comments. They were also aware he had apologized, and they hired him anyway for Guardians. And then, fucking 5 years later, they fired him because Fox News was like, blah, 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 blah. And Disney was like, oh, we didn't know about this. Huh. You guys knew. You wouldn't have hired him. You're Disney. You vet everybody. We knew about it. If we knew about it, you knew about it. Same thing with Kevin Hart. So Kevin Hart apparently a couple of years ago made some really bad, not defending what he said, but also I think he as an individual has also has apologized for his comments several times, and he had made comments against like gay people. Mm-hmm. But he has apologized time after time about it, and again, it's not like we didn't know about it. So it's very unlikely the Academy knew about it, and yet they got backlash and they had to he backed out.
It's a shame.
Before they even told him to get out. He just backed out. Because he got so much flack by people. It's like, remember that? You're going to do this, but remember that time you did that? I don't know. It's weird. But anyway, so no one wanted to jump on it.
They should have had a Maroon 5 host the Oscars.
And then he takes his shirt off again and people get mad again.
That'd be hilarious.
Did you hear that?
They should have double lined it. They did the Super Bowl this year, and they did the friggin' Oscars. Because nobody else wanted to do it.
That would have been great. Fucking Maroon 5, the most we don't give a shit group.
Literally. You can't find anybody else with talent.
But I think if you're gonna pick hosts for next year, without a doubt, I feel like Tina Fey, Maya Rudolph, and Amy Poehler should definitely host next year. Mm. Did you see their entrance? Yes.
No, I didn't.
So they were essentially the opening act, and they made some very good jokes. Mm-hmm. They understood, not to go over the edge or whatever. They've hosted before. The Amy Poehler and Tina Fey have done the Golden Globes 3 times or something. I don't know. But they've hosted before, so they know what it's like. And then Maya Rudolph joined them, and it was gold. I think it was pretty awesome. And I mean, come on, it's not like they don't know how to do comedy. These women are from fucking SNL, and
it's true. Yeah, they know pretty good, good comedy veterans. It would make sense. I mean, if you're gonna host, you need somebody with personality.
Yeah,
you can't have somebody who's boring.
And you can't get Billy Crystal again. Like the guy's been there, done that a billion times.
Yeah.
And who's the other that used to do it a lot? Whoopi Goldberg. I mean, you can only get them to do it so many times. So yeah, that I find so interesting. And also at the end of the Oscars, I put this on our Twitter account, on Facts Not Included. What's her face? Julia Roberts came out and did Best Picture, and I think she did a pretty solid job too. So come on, you got people there.
Yeah, they have people willing to do it. I just think it's just too much heat, the headline.
Yeah.
Which is kind of silly, but hopefully next year, 2020's Oscars will not be so charged.
Well, I mean, it might be worse. There is an election year. And
it's true. That's actually right. You're right. You're totally right. You're right. It could be worse.
People go to the polls later that year. So.
It's true. Who will play the Super Bowl next year? Who's doing Super Bowl 2020?
Oh, jeez.
There's no halftime. It's just silence.
No, and that's something I've discussed with some people. The whole idea of it's getting to the point where, and it's not even just the political stuff. It's also where we are with technology. Mm-hmm. Do the Oscars even happen going forward? A couple of years from now, do people the way it's done now? Is it feasible? Does it? I still think it is, but. There, the ideas of does it need to be shown on YouTube? Does it need to be shown in other places? Do we need to cut certain portions out? I think the whole idea of having music and the Oscars is ridiculous. I think the fact that you spend a total of a half hour presenting music or something, or 20 minutes or whatever at the Oscars.
Mm-hmm.
It's the fucking Oscars, man. It's not the Grammys.
It's true.
Why
It's
why
about
do
movies, yeah.
why do I like if you're gonna dedicate that much time to something, dedicate it to the best pictures. Like show more than just the trailer or a little thing for the
Show
best
entire
picture.
scenes. Show the actors on stage. I just
Or being that we live in the world of this technology, recreate some scenes, do something really cool like
That'd
you've
be
done in
cool.
the past.
Have them act it out.
Yeah, like do something fucking worthwhile.
Get people's attention. I think it's gotten very stale. I think it's just the same thing every year, and there's always drama with the Oscars. You know,
Yeah.
people getting snubbed, movies getting snubbed.
I will say,
nominations.
I think this year was, for at least me, a better year in regards to that. There wasn't too many, at least in my opinion, snubs.
Snubs.
Yeah. But did you, Mike? You gotta look this up. I really want you to watch this. Maybe after we do the show. Did you hear about the acceptance speech by the makeup people?
No, I didn't hear this acceptance speech. No.
Oh my god! So this is great. So the people from Vice. They win best makeup. They go up to stage, and I guess the Academy told every single nominee, because this started the trend the whole night. Or actually, the first award was best supporting actress.
Best supporting actress.
But anyway, the whole night, everyone had scripts in their hands because they were probably told, "Hey, let's speed it up. Read it off instead of just thinking." So what happens is there's 3 of them up there, and they all seem very competent, until they open their mouths. They can't read a piece of paper.
Oh Jesus!
They couldn't read a piece. They literally, there was moments, I believe. It's been a few days where they were like, "Okay, so we're gonna thank. What are we gonna thank? I don't remember. We're gonna thank John, right? Okay, so we're gonna thank John, Richard. Is it James, right? James.
That's terrible. I mean, the amount of anxiety I would have being on that stage. It's not even measurable.
And I blame the woman in the middle. Again, you're gonna check. I'll send it to you. I blame the woman in the middle mainly because I feel like the guy on the left and the woman on the right were more or less just like, we'll just ad-lib this. It's no big deal. But then again, I might be wrong. I haven't seen it since it happened. But everybody was talking about it. How would you react if you were on stage like that? Would you act like that?
Hell no.
No, right? Exactly. You fucking hold your composure. You read off the paper, and that's it.
Yeah, that's what you're supposed to do. Take a little shit and leave.
Another person, oddly enough, who had that slight similar moment was Spike Lee. I think he was just so shocked that he won.
Oh yeah, for BlacKkKlansman.
He won best original screenplay. No, best adapted screenplay. And he got up there. He was reading off a piece of paper, but I think it was because he was just so fucking like, oh my god, finally, I've
so shocked.
I've been recognized.
Has he ever won an Oscar or nominated or Spike Lee?
He's been nominated several times. This might be his first ever.
Might be his first Oscar.
I think he did get snubbed for director, but then again, I haven't seen Roma. So
yeah,
and Roma won.
Neither have I.
Yeah, Roma won a lot. Roma won 3 Oscars. It won Best Director, Best Cinematographer, and Best Foreign Language Film.
Interesting. And the other thing I think the great point is with the Oscars now is their fear, or so I've read anyway, their fear of Netflix and digital streaming, original content from streaming services that doesn't go to theaters.
Yeah, that's the thing Antonio and I were talking about in the last episode. Is Spielberg has talked about that before, and he's like, if the movie chose to go on Netflix, it does not deserve to. You guys chose to be a TV movie. That's what he said. I don't agree. I think just because it's on Netflix doesn't mean it's not worthy.
No, not at all.
Netflix is kind of like Fox. Obviously, Fox has a brand called Fox Searchlight.
Mm-hmm. I've heard of it.
Yeah. So what they basically do is they go out and buy out the movies from Sundance Film Festivals and a bunch of film festivals.
They're independent films, yeah.
Yeah. And that's how Searchlight does this. And some movie from Fox Searchlight won a film, an award. And so it's not unheard of. And that's basically how I view Netflix. They buy out or produce some of these movies and see where they go with them. But yeah. I don't agree with Steven. and I love him.
Yeah, neither do I. Yeah, he's got a lot of good films on his belt. He knows what he's talking about. But yeah, no, I thought that's definitely definitely have to disagree with that too. However, Netflix, I'm definitely hyped for is The Irishman.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. So now, what do you say there, Mr. Spielberg? Does that movie not deserve it?
That's true. I mean, come on,
Because
you have Pesci, Al Pacino, Harvey Keitel, and I think a bunch of other
oh
old
yeah,
school
bunch of other
actors.
big
Yeah,
names. Yeah,
Martin
you,
Scorsese directing. Like, come on. Like,
like you have an opportunity there, at least Netflix, for winning at least 5 Academy
oh
Awards.
yeah, yeah. Well, it's gonna go to theaters for a little bit because they want to make sure it's eligible for Oscars.
Right. Yeah, yeah, no, of course, which is what Roma did as well. But oh my god, I'm fucking beyond excited for that movie. Because first of all, it's been what? How many years they've been talking about this movie? And they're like, "Oh,
Over a decade, I
yeah."
think. I think it's been over a decade.
And have you? I showed you I sent you guys the pictures, right, of the scenes
The
of set
aging, yeah,
photos.
it's insane.
It's pretty nuts how. So from what my understanding, I know this is about the Oscars, but really quickly, my understanding is they're showing them look older at some points so that they could make them look like their modern day selves, and then they could de-age from there as well. So it looks like they're having some fun with that, and I'm annoyed because I noticed some of the streets. Maybe maybe I might be wrong, but I've seen some of the streets. And I'm like, I think I know where that's at in Brooklyn, or the city. So it's kind of
Yeah,
like,
because I know it's set. It's supposed to be set during different times.
yeah,
Like they
several,
jump back and forth
yeah.
between different time periods. I think that's where the whole de-aging technologies is going to come into place.
I'm really excited to see Serpico era looking Al Pacino.
Yeah,
I'm really,
that's going to
really,
be yeah.
really excited to see that. So I want to just go through really quickly of some like I'm gonna run through some really quick awards and see if like you're like like, oh, why the fuck did that win? So I think actor in a leading role. I think for most people this is not surprising, but I think maybe for some people, Willem Dafoe. Some people didn't believe he belonged there. Others were saying that he definitely should have won. I don't know. I haven't seen have you seen the Vincent Van Gogh movie?
I haven't.
Yeah, no, I don't think anybody did. To be honest, it might be a great movie. I don't think anybody's seen it. But I also heard Viggo Mortensen, who was in Green Book, probably should have won. But Rami Malek wins Best Actor. He was going against Bradley Cooper and as well as Christian Bale, who played Mr. Dick Cheney. What did you see any of those movies besides
just Bohemian Rhapsody?
Yeah.
I didn't see Vice or what was it? What was the other one you mentioned?
Stars Born,
Stars Born. I didn't see A Star Is Born.
At
I didn't
Eternity's
see
Gate, and
Vice.
Green Book.
I only saw I saw Bohemian Rhapsody though.
So I feel like you would really enjoy Vice.
I definitely think I would.
Yeah,
without a doubt. I like those political thriller movies. But I guess thinking here. I mean, since I didn't see Vice, so kind of I can't really form an opinion. But who do you think played the real life persona better?
Ooh, I would have to say Christian Bale was much more believable as Dick Cheney was.
Dick Cheney. Then Rami Malek.
Than Rami was as Freddie Mercury. Because Freddie, and I'm not even talking about the whole singing thing, because we all know that wasn't Rami really singing. It
was an impersonator, and his voice was overlapped and overdubbed, and
with also Freddie's voice as well, not just the YouTuber. Yeah. So like that aside, yes, I did believe for many moments that was Freddie Mercury, but I've seen plenty of Freddie Mercury interviews to where I can go, well, Freddie had a different voice, this and that. But when you watch Christian Bale and fucking Dick Cheney, you do not think that's not Dick Cheney. Like you're like, oh my god, they got Dick Cheney to do this movie about Dick Cheney? What? Like there are many moments like that, if not more, probably more so in Vice than there is in Bohemian. But that's not taking away from Rami's performance. I think he did an amazing performance. And probably would have done a better job than the other guy that was it Sacha Baron. Like we'll never know, but Rami, yeah, you can't take that away from him. But did he deserve the best? I don't know. I didn't see all the other movies, so I don't know. Actor in a supporting role. Apparently, this was a no-brainer. Mahershala Ali wins for Green Book. That man is a fucking actor. Like
he's a talented guy. He's good in House of Cards.
Yeah, and that's how I know him. And I saw him in Moonlight, but like I love him in House of Cards. That relationship he has with what's that woman? And they just it's just a sex relationship. That's all it is.
Shit. Their name is Molly
Forget
Parker, I think her
forget
name
her.
is.
Yeah,
It's the
maybe.
character. I don't know if it's the character, or the actress. That might be the actress.
Yeah, I don't know.
I forgot her name, but I know what you're talking about.
Actress in the leading role was pretty funny because this woman, Olivia Colman, who's in The Favorite, which again haven't seen, but I've heard nothing but the greatest things about this movie. It's kind of like a black comedy on in regards to the love affair between Queen, but I don't, I forget. I again, facts not included. That's what we're about. You know, we don't
Not
know
facts,
anything.
just opinions on
No
things.
facts, exactly. But anyway, the story, whatever the story's about, Coleman winds up beating Glenn Close, Lady Gaga, Melissa McCarthy, and Yalitza Aparicio, whatever her name is. She's from Roma. The I don't know why I said it in an Italian accent, even though she's Spanish. Wow. Racism. No, so
It's not even about Italian.
I don't know why I said Italian because I didn't see the name, and then when you read the name, you just want to say it in the most Italian way.
I'm pretty sure it's about the gypsies, the movie.
Mexicans.
No.
Roma?
I'm sure it's about. Is
No, it's in Mexico. It's set
Is
in
it?
Mexico.
Wow.
Yeah.
it? Wow.
Gypsies.
Wow.
Maybe they're Mexican gypsies. Maybe you're right. Maybe they're Mexican gypsies. And that's also why I said it in a fucking Italian accent, because it's called Roma and it's set in Mexico.
If we're completely wrong. It's a pretty big blunder.
Yeah. So quickly, here's the synopsis of Roma. Cleo is one of two domestic workers who help Antonio and Sofia take care of their 4 children in 1970s Mexico City.
Interesting.
So yeah.
Could
Anyway.
be symbolism. Could be symbolism.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So she beat them out. The crazy thing is that you have to watch Olivia Colman's acceptance speech, because at no moment in her acceptance speech does she believe that she won the Oscar. She's just like, oh my fuck, I won. She even says to her kids, oh god, what was it? Cherish this moment or watch this or whatever, because it's never happening again. That's great.
Fair enough, I guess.
This is great. Actress in a supporting role. I don't know who I would have picked here because, again, I haven't seen all the movies. But Regina King won for If Beale Street Could Talk. It's another film I missed out on. It's an adaptation of a book written by the amazing, oh my God, I am so bad at names. What is the man? James Baldwin. There we go. You know who James Baldwin is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, actually, if you want to watch a really good movie, there's a documentary on James Baldwin. Sorry, it's I Am Not Your Negro. Came out in 2016. Fucking great. Anyway, Regina King wins. Great actress. She's probably been well deserved of that for many, many years. Another person that could have won that would have been Emma Stone, maybe in The Favorite. But again, haven't seen the movie, so I don't know.
It's hard to tell.
Animated feature. There's no way Spider-Man didn't win this, and it won. But like there would have,
well deserved.
There would have been I think I would have thrown something at my TV.
You know what won last year for that best animated feature? That Boss Baby movie.
No.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
No, you're lying.
No,
I'm looking this up right now. I don't believe you.
I know. I think I'm true bound on the truth. Either this year or the last. It was.
List of animated. Okay, wait. I don't believe it. Because I'm not saying like it didn't happen, but it just doesn't sound like it would have.
I think it did happen.
It doesn't sound like it would have done that. Okay. Hold on. Pause, everybody. We are looking this up. Winners. Okay. 2000. No, it didn't win. See, it was nominated, but it didn't win. Coco won. Coco.
Okay. I was lied to on the internet.
Really? You read that somewhere?
Yeah, it was on Reddit somewhere. Someone lied.
Someone was like, they were furious. They're like, I can't believe Boss Baby won. And no one corrected him. Disney won the last. Wow, this is crazy. Disney always wins.
That's not surprising.
Like, okay, look, no joke. 2017 to 2012, Disney won. Well, 2012 to 2017, Disney won. And then they didn't win in 2011 because they didn't have a movie in.
Really?
Yeah.
Jesus. That's brutal.
But they won 2010, 2009, 2008, 2007. Also, the Cars didn't win in 2006.
Well, who beat it?
A Happy Feet.
Oh, Jesus. Probably for the best.
Yeah, but then they won in 2004, 2003. Like Disney. Oh, wow. That's insane. Jesus. Okay. Anyway, back to the Oscars. Cinematography. So Roma wins, and from what I know about Roma, it's a movie of just wide shots. Like it's 80% from what I've heard a lot
Isn't
from people.
that his thing?
Alfonso.
Have you seen his?
Cuarón?
Have you seen Children of Men? That's the only other movie I think I've seen from him.
You know what? My dad's seen that movie.
It's such a good movie.
My dad's. I
It's
have
a
not.
really good movie.
I've not seen that
Watched it in
movie.
college.
Children of Men. Okay, I gotta look that up. Yeah, I know my dad's seen it. I'm looking at the poster now. I know he's definitely seen it. I've seen Gravity.
That I haven't seen.
That's his. I don't know if he did. Yeah, he directed about it. He didn't He wasn't the cinematographer of that movie. I've seen Gravity. Yeah, I mean, so I guess that is his thing because Gravity does have a lot of moments like that. But from what I understand, in Roma, I think he did the whole fucking movie on his own. Like he was the cinematographer, he was the director. He created. I think he even came up with the story, if I'm not mistaken. Like the guy's a genius. I think he's well deserved because every award he won, he went up there by himself. Like it was no one else came with him. It was pretty crazy. But this Cold War movie, have you heard of this one?
No. Cold War movie?
The movie's called Cold War, and it has to do with a love affair between two people during the tensions of the Cold War. And I think it looks great. It's black and white, too, as well. Set against the backdrop of the 50s, Cold War in Poland, two people of differing backgrounds and temperaments begin an almost impossible romance. It's based off of a true story. I think the guy who either directed this movie or whatever, it's about more or less his parents' story and how they got together. So I think that's fascinating. I think that's a beautiful thing if you could come up with that.
Interesting.
Let's see. Costume design. Without a doubt, I think the obvious favorite here and the winner was Black Panther. It went up against. I think the only movie that would have won was Mary, Queen of Scots, because I like it when a movie has period piece type of outfits.
Yeah, I love that too.
Yeah.
Historical. Not a lot of historical movies out. When you think about it, I don't see them too often anymore.
Yeah, I think you're right with that. And
It's not common.
And if they are historical, they have a bit of a twist.
Some weird twist they throw in there.
So directing was directing should have been BlacKkKlansman. Directing was Roma. Again, I'm sorry, but I haven't seen it, and I'm not trying to crap on it. It's just I feel like Spike Lee put his all in BlacKkKlansman.
I mean, he really did.
And the fact that he, not a single black director has ever won an Oscar for directing. Not saying that you have to give it to him because he's black, but like, if you're gonna give it to a guy that so happens to be black, it would have been this year. Like, no doubt. Spike Lee deserved this. But again, haven't seen Roma, so I don't know. Spike Lee made a shout out to NYU.
Did he?
Yeah, it was really cool. I think the best part of the Oscars was Sam Jackson telling us the Knicks beat the Spurs. That was like fucking random. He was like,
that guy does not give a shit.
He comes out with Brie Larson. He's like, all right, by the way, just want to let this from my man Spike over there. The Knicks just beat the Spurs 130 whatever, to it. It was like, and then Spike just goes, yeah. And then someone yelled out Brooklyn mentioned Brooklyn in one of the speeches, and Spike just went, Brooklyn! And it's like echoed throughout the whole theater.
That's hilarious. That goes down the whole entire auditorium.
Yeah, it's fucking great. Documentary feature, I don't think I've seen. I saw Free Solo, the winner. I saw the winner. Have you seen this movie?
What movie?
Free Solo?
Free Solo.
It's not about Han Solo.
No, I've not.
It's not. It's
trying to put the picture together in my mind, but no.
So,
drawing blanks.
Do you have any idea what it would be about?
Free Solo? No.
It's one of the most dangerous movies I've ever seen. It's a documentary, and it's about a professional rock climber, Alex Honnold. Mm-hmm. He attempts to conquer the first free climb Solo climb a famed El Capitan's 900-meter vertical rock face at Yosemite National Park. So he did it without any grapples,
That's crazy.
any
Any gear
hooks,
harnesses.
nothing. And the exciting part about this is knowing that the cinematographer and the director and everyone involved had no choice but to understand that if he falls, he falls. We have we
He's dead. That's
yeah,
it.
because I was watching. I can't remember if it's in the movie, but I was watching a featurette about it, and they basically said that like we had to realize that we can't help him. He didn't want us to help him. And if he dies, he dies. Like that's not on us. You know, we have to realize we have to separate ourselves from that.
Dude probably signed a ton of contracts before he
Oh my
started filming.
God, yeah.
Like the family couldn't sue him if he got like if he
Right.
got killed.
I think that's yeah. And Nat Geo was behind this too. So like you have a major company, a TV company behind this as well. And you got to check this movie out. It's just so suspenseful because it's real. And he's like the way he does it. It's like it looks so easy. The way it's performed looks so easy. He's putting his hands between rocks like it's like nothing. Like I could do this. There's moments he's about to slip and fall and might die, but you know.
Some people are just insanely talented at something unique. I guess you could say that.
The funny thing and sad thing is that he was there at the Oscars and they didn't. I don't think they thanked him for like 2 seconds out of the entire speech. Yeah. It was so funny. Husband and wife team, I think, did this, and then they're thanking everybody else, and the guy's right there. And they go, "Oh, and you too, man. This movie wouldn't have been made without you." And it. Let's see. There's some interesting moments that happened at the Oscars. I'm trying to think of some of them. Oh, okay. Do me a favor as well. Keep this in mind. Watch Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper's performance. Have you heard about it?
I heard it. Yeah, I heard about it. Yeah.
It looked like they definitely had sex on set. Because you do not. I don't care how good of an actor you are. You do not look into the eyes of another human being the way they looked into each other's eyes.
Good chemistry.
I don't know, man. I feel like there's more there than meets the eye. It was hot. They got to the moment where he sat down next to her, and I was like, "Oh my God, they're gonna make out. This isn't safe for children." Like you know, it was. I was uncomfortable. Just kidding, I wasn't. But I could see where maybe some people might go, "Ooh, spicy," yeah, you know. So you should definitely check that one out. And there's a moment when Spike Lee actually got his acceptance speech, and he jumped. You gotta look this up too. He jumped on Sam Jackson, like
Of course he did.
He hugged him like he was a backpack.
That's such a weird analogy. Hug on your back.
Yeah, but it was on the front side, and so he was like a little baby. Because Spike Lee's like 2 feet tall in comparison to Sam. But yeah, no, fun Oscars. What else? Let's see. Film editing was Bohemian Rhapsody. I don't know if that's true. I feel like Vice did a better job. You remember? Oh yeah, that's right. You haven't seen it. There's a lot of like random fucking edits in Vice that I enjoy. So like, without giving the movie away, there'll be moments of like Dick Cheney talking in an office with George W. Bush, and then they'll cut to him fishing, and then they'll cut back to something else, and then they'll cut to like a pond of water, and then they'll cut to something else. It was just like trippy shit, but it's to show you like I think the way I took it was like none of this phased Dick Cheney, because at the end of the day he was just gonna retire and go fishing. That's how I saw it.
Is that like kind of like I guess to like segue each scene? It was like a shot of him fishing is like his hobby.
Yeah, and I guess it was to say, hey, fucking American, fuck you, Americans. I didn't care. I just wanted to do what was best, and I didn't.
Fished.
At the end of the day, I was gonna go fishing anyway. Yeah, I think that's how I took it. I don't know. I might be wrong. I gotta look
That's how
into
you
that.
interpreted it.
Yeah, that's how I saw it. music, Black Panther won an original score.
Fair enough, yeah.
Shallow from A Star Is Born wins, of course. That song's everywhere on the radio. I actually do like that song.
I don't think I've listened to it yet.
Not a big fan of the movie per se. I literally prefer the original with Judy Garland.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just me. The song's good because when Lady Gaga belts, she knows how to belt.
Oh yeah, she's a fantastic singer.
You've heard that song from Freddie Mercury, "In My Defense"? I'm sure you've heard it.
So no.
Beautiful song. It reminds me of that where like it builds up and then he just belts out this beautiful few lines. Gaga's free solo with Bradley Cooper. The build-up's longer, obviously, to that crescendo, but I compare the two into that, the belting, and those are two artists that clearly know how to do that. Yeah, you should. I'm telling you to look up a lot of things, Mike. You are not doing your homework.
I'm not. I've been slacking.
You not do your homework for this show. Production design was won by Black Panther. Blah 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 blah. What else? What's else? All the other shit doesn't matter, I guess. Right? Yeah. Just kidding. Sound editing. Ooh, Bohemian Rhapsody also in sound mixing. So, you know what I love? That people don't know the difference between sound mixing and sound editing. It's kind of interesting, because I sometimes get confused with it as well.
It is easy to confuse.
Yeah, but like
technically is editing in a sense. It's adjustment.
Yeah, right. It's just I don't know. I find it funny where people are like, "Why don't you just mix it together and make it one award?" No, because there's two different teams behind it. It's not the same people. One group is doing the sound editing. One doing the sound mix. Like it's two different groups, possibly two different houses. Like in the sense like maybe Disney or whoever the studio might like throw the sound mixing to a different studio. Not a different studio, but like a different art house might be in charge of it or something. Like they might have a different group of people completely outside of Disney, or outside of that specific group within Disney, whatever, to do it. Like it's like trailers. They don't do in-house trailers sometimes. They do trailers outside. So they might do the same thing with that. I don't know. I'm not quite in the biz. Writing adapted screenplay was Black Klansman. Original screenplay was Green Book. I thought Roma won that one. But yeah, so like it's pretty. Like again, I don't think there was really anything that was like, oh, that fucking movie should have won or that person should have won. It was a pretty solid.
Too controversial, you would say.
Yeah, other than I think this was probably Spike Lee's year, and a lot of people are saying Glenn Close should have won Best Actress, but I haven't seen that movie. But The Wife. But yeah, I think it was a pretty safe year.
An overly safe year, I guess.
Yeah, and I guess if you're a racist and if you're listening, no, I don't think black people won this year because they were black. Let's keep that straight. Like they won because they were talented. Because no, I was hearing some of that too. Because like a lot of the people that got up on stage were people of color. They were they were either black, Spanish, Asian, whatever it might have been. They weren't white. And a lot of people were like, and I'm like, what? They made better movies or they did better performance. That's it. That's all it comes down to.
Yeah.
Like, who gives a shit? Like, chill out.
I mean, the only controversy I really heard about was the Green Book controversy.
Yeah. That one's interesting. I mean, you also have you're talking about race and so someone I know, I'm not going to name the person's name, I respect their opinion. I more or less agree with them. Mm-hmm. I'm definitely paraphrasing, so that's why I'm also not naming them. They more or less said that they don't agree with the story because this story has been told countless times. This idea that a white man is the savior to a black guy has been told a million times.
Yeah.
Why do we need to see this again?
It's pretty cliche.
You're right. Also, there was that article from the LA Times. I don't know who the writer is, but they said this is the worst Best Picture movie nominated since winner since since Crash. That's strong. That's a strong statement. Crash did not deserve to win that year. I forgot who was supposed to win that everyone thought I just forgot. But anyway, Crash did not deserve to win that year. What year was that? Crash Oscar winner. Let's see. 2006.
Wow, that's a long time ago.
So 2006 Best Pictures. I'm sure there was better movies there. Why can't I see it? There we go. 2006 Best Pictures was Crash, Munich. Great movie. Great movie by Spielberg. Good Night and Good Luck. Yet to see that movie. Capote. Another great movie. And Brokeback Mountain. Probably Brokeback Mountain wins or Capote. The Truman Capote movie. But yeah, like, what the fuck? Looking back on that, like, any of the other movies deserve to win and not Crash.
Not Crash.
Like, even Munich, as boring as you might find that movie, because it's a long-ass movie. It's almost 3 hours.
That's tough.
Like, that probably even deserved to win as well. I don't know. People, like, it's... I mean, it's all hindsight, but at the same time, not really. I think they messed up on that one.
I thought it was going to be controversy. Someone's always going to say, oh, this movie should have won over that movie, or that this actor should have won over that actor. So it goes.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
I don't think it's anything new to the Oscars anyway. Like, the snubs have been going back since, like, time countless.
No, but there's the years that you're like, oh my god, how did they even think that was going to be?
It's true. I think it's going to win.
I think one of the other years is the year that, is it? Yeah, Shakespeare in Love wins when Saving Private Ryan should have won.
Yeah.
That
Who talks about that movie anymore?
Yeah, shit. Everybody. I first of all just saw Saving Private Ryan just 2 days ago.
It's a fantastic movie. So I watched it like last year. I watched it on Netflix last year.
And I haven't seen Shakespeare in Love ever.
Yeah. I didn't know it exists. I wouldn't know it exists. But that's like literally how important it is.
Yeah. I mean, you're right. It is always going to be talked about, but then there are those few years where it's like, what were you thinking?
Yeah, that's a good example. I've heard that example a lot. Shakespeare in Love versus Saving Private Ryan.
Right,
like,
that's like the big one. I think that's the one everyone's like everyone always talks about. But yeah, I mean, I don't think this year was one of those because again, I haven't seen Green Book, so I can't really say.
It's hard to make a judgment on something you haven't really seen yet.
Exactly, yeah, and yeah, maybe Roma should have won that because it won Best Director. So like maybe that. What do you think about movies like that? Does a certain amount of certain awards dictate that movie should win Best Picture?
I mean, I wouldn't say so. I think it's kind of, there's like, because a lot of movies, I feel like, it's kind of unfair if one movie takes home everything. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
If that makes sense.
I see what you're saying. Here's my thing. Let's see. I'm looking. Okay. Here's a prime example. La La Land, a couple of years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Technically won Best Picture until they realized that they read the wrong.
What a disaster.
Yeah.
Steve Harvey, right?
No, that's Steve Harvey. Steve Harvey
God.
was.
That was him.
No. This was another an even more famous actor from back in the day, and I can't remember his name. But anyway, it was nominated like fucking 12 times, and it won 5 awards. But here are the awards that they won, and this is why I'm like, oh, maybe it should have won Best Picture. Best Production Design, Best Director, Best Cinematographer, Best Actress, and Best Score. That to me doesn't automatically mean you should have won Best Picture, but it's a pretty strong case for that movie.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot at once.
And it was nominated for 12 awards. So anyway, but that stuff like that interests me. I feel like if a movie's gonna win the top 3 or 4 awards, it should, or at least have a strong ass chance of winning that Best Picture nomination.
It makes sense. I mean, you have a good point. If it's gonna be good, it better take home. It better prove its worth, so to speak.
Now I don't agree with some people that were like Bradley Cooper should have been nominated for Best Director, but instead he got nominated for Best Actor.
Mm-hmm.
And no, that's not how it works. If he didn't do that great of a job directing, even though he might have been a superb actor, he doesn't deserve it. That's it. There's like I think a big snub back in the day a few years ago was Argo. It got nominated for, and I think it even won Best Picture.
I remember that movie.
But what's his face didn't get nominated for the Best Director, and I think he did a superb job of directing that movie. Ben Affleck, you know.
Ben Affleck, yeah.
So it's interesting like that. Those moments of snubs and what's considered a snub. You're right. What's not? I don't know.
Hard to say. I mean, have you ever read about like the people who like judge or like the judges, so to speak, in these award contests?
I
or,
have
like categories.
I have a bit. I mean, I know that to be a part. I don't know what it takes to be a part of the Academy, but I know, like, I don't think you have to be a high-profile person to necessarily be voting.
I feel like these people are a lot older.
Yeah, there's certain like Kevin Smith. I don't know if he's a member of the Academy, but I know he's a member of other awards ceremonies. For instance, like he was talking about that the other day. But I don't know if he gave away that he votes on the Academy Awards. But yeah, it seems like the voting body seems to be primarily an older stock. But here's my issue with the Academy Awards and how they do voting, how they get to the nominees. You don't have to see every movie, which is not quite a good sentiment, for me. If I'm a voter, I should watch every single movie that's going, that's out there. How am I going to know if that movie wasn't worthy or not?
That's true.
Just because the guy down the street from me, who's also a voter, said, you shouldn't check that movie out. Like, no, I'm going to check it out.
Yeah, check it out on their own.
Yeah.
That's kind of like your duty, so to speak.
So that part bothers me, that they are not required to watch every movie. Another issue I have, and it has nothing to do with the Academy per se, is that a lot of these Academy, well, it does actually have to do a lot with the Academy, is a lot of all these movies that get nominated were from, like, what, September on. Except for, like Black Panther came out in, like, February, but, like, most of these movies came out post halfway through the year. And it's like, why does that need to be the case? It's the whole year that's being looked at, not just Tuesday, it's the whole year of 2018 was being looked at, not just half of it or less than half. And that bothers me because it's been like that the last 10 years. All these movies are like, oh, we'll release it in October because the Academy will remember us. And like, think about it, Roma came out in December. Vice came out in December. Bohemian Rhapsody came out in November. If Bohemian Rhapsody, no joke, if that came out in March, it wouldn't be talked about today.
It's true.
At all.
It's like old targeted. Like times were all like targeted.
Yeah. Oh, without a doubt, yeah. Green Book came out in October, November. All these movies came out at the end of the year. And for good reason, because they knew that the Academy would forget about them if they didn't. It's fucking sad, but that's the world we live in. Which is probably partly why Logan didn't get nominated when it came out. Because, if anything, if a comic book movie should have won an Oscar, Logan's that movie.
That movie.
Or like a lot of people say Dark Knight, but I say fuck that. No, Logan, without a doubt.
I think there's just a lot of politics overall at play.
Oh yeah,
with the Oscars.
Baskets are being purchased, candy, goods, money, cars, money shuffling hands. And we don't see it. We're not going to know about it, but of course it's happening.
Yeah.
Banquets,
it's almost obvious.
I'm sure banquets are being held under pseudonames, but banquets are being held by individuals to get others to vote. Or tell my brother Jeffrey that I'll vote for his movie. Whatever shit like that. Like if he mows my lawn or some petty shit, but it's still nonetheless a bargain. I mean a bribe, and a bargain in some cases, I guess, but a bribe. I don't know. It's strange, and we're not there yet. We're not there yet. Maybe one day we'll become as tainted as these individuals.
Corrupt with power.
Yeah, it'd be nice.
These ones not like Kevin Spacey level.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, well,
No, it's not that.
I think that's a level of just just a dirty man.
Pretty man.
Just a dirty man that got caught.
Mm.
Also, good point on Bryan Singer not being mentioned by Rami Malek or anyone on the award ceremony, because he remember he was a big part of the Bohemian Rhapsody movie.
He got fired, right?
He got fired because he liked touching other people. Also, Queen opened the Oscars, and I think they did a great job with Adam Lambert.
I did see that.
Yeah,
I did actually see that. Yeah, he did a good job. That was pretty cool.
Yeah,
he's no Freddie, but he's talented.
No, I mean, but he's also been the front man for 6 years, so they trust him enough.
Yeah.
So like
Brian May looks the same as he did.
Fucking nuts.
He all his hair, which is really good.
It's insane. And then you got Chunky. What's his face?
He's the one I know of. I remember Brian May and Freddie. That's it.
Oh my God, what is the drummer's name? Whatever. And then Deacon, of course, retired like shortly after Freddie passed away, so he hasn't been involved in the band.
Yeah, since then.
But yeah. Anyway, I feel like this is a good place to end this episode.
It's a cute place to be. We recapped the meat of the Oscars.
Yeah, the meaty Oscars.
Meaty bits.
I met a meaty Oscar once. Just kidding.
Wow. All right, it's enough.
I love that. I love how your uncomfortable sexuality is spewing through. Anyway, it's been a good day. It's been a good episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Good night. I think next week's episode is going to be either just me or you guys could join on as well. But I think we're going to talk about what the website's going to be about and what to expect from that.
Cool things coming down the pipeline.
Really exciting. Without a doubt, really excited for this. I've put a lot of time and energy into it. There's still more to be done. We don't yet have an announcement or a release date, I guess you want to call it, for the website. But it is coming very soon. Very exciting things to be on there. But we'll talk about that in the next episode. But anyway, I've been Peter Cabranes, and I've been joined by Michael Votto. Mike, you've been awesome.
Thank you. So have you.
And also with you. It's like going to church. So yeah, peace out, guys. Enjoy yourselves and have a good weekend.
Good night, everyone.
Bye.